I think the trade package that the administration is rolling out, and rolling out faster than they had planned to, is a recognition that what they're doing is major harm to the ag economy and to rural Iowa. Going back to the spring when tariffs first started getting talked about, we saw the impact on prices. We saw the impact on prices in June when China put its retaliatory tariffs in place. Farmers, or dairy producers and pork producers, are being shut out of markets right now. Mexico is a very important market for cheese, and we're not able to sell that product there, which is causing a lot of problems for our dairy producers who are already looking at low prices. China obviously is an important market for soybeans and pork, and so what's going on in Mexico and China shutting out our pork, including the cuts and the pieces that Americans don't eat, pig's feet and ears and things like that, that's causing problems. It will back up and impact not just farmers but bankers. I've talked to bankers who are worried about those folks who farm on the margin, and those folks who have been very successful, but if they're looking at the next couple of years and they're worried about profitability, may decide that this is the time to sell their equipment and rent their land. And I've talked to folks in our pork processing plants who are worried that we've built this excess or extra capacity to help grow the pork industry in Iowa based on what we thought were going to be growing export markets. And so if we have that extra capacity, what's going to happen to the pork producers if they've got too many pigs, and what's going to happen to the prices they're looking at? And you talk to the folks who work for John Deere, and this is all really personal to me because going back to the 1980s, growing up in the farm crisis, my dad owned a John Deere store. And so I saw that when times were hard for farmers, that meant that all those small town businesses struggled. And in Iowa, that meant all our ag manufacturing folks suffered too. And so it's not just the farmer we got to worry about here, it's everyone involved in agriculture in
Well, you've
Iowa.
described the problem, Mr. Gannon, but what should the state be doing about it?
I mean, here's the thing. If the federal government won't accept that they're doing damage to Iowa's economy, both through bad trade policy and also bad biofuels policy, then I think the state needs to send a message that, hey, we don't want to bear the brunt of what we think is bad policy. The stock market might be doing great, unemployment may be low, but that doesn't mean that what's going on right here isn't going to impact us. So we need to get our markets back open, and we need to get the 2.25 billion gallons of ethanol demand that's been destroyed restored so we can lift prices.